This is it, folks. The day we've all been waiting for. The May update. What's up, Reapers? My name's Seth, and we are back here. Some more patch notes. See how I chop it from side to side? X marks the spot for goodies. So this is the May patch. We kind of ended up speculating whether or not this thing was going to end up actually being a thing because they talked about the May patch so subtly. And then the developers started talking about the summer update in Bomb Royale, and we didn't hear anything from them about the May update. And then they ended up confirming last minute, as they usually do, oh, by the way, there is a May update coming out. And it added quite a few things from Mastery, not much else, but we'll still dive right into it. Obviously, you can see right here, we finally have the Divinity Costume for the Vanguard, and it's beautiful. It's good that it's been added to the game. It honestly should have come out with Trove Heroes. It was already in the game's code. I don't know why they waited for so long, but this is a style that you can end up doing with it. All electricity and stuff, and it's got kind of disco light show punching, which is a little bit insane on the video effects there, but it's still really, really cool, and your laser eyes are pretty standard. But then when we go to ranged mode, it's kind of neat too. I really like the shots. They're pretty much, if I'm not mistaken, those are very, very similar, if not the exact same, as the Resistor costume video effects for the Gunslinger. Am I wrong about that? Let's just take a peek. Like, is it the same thing? I guess not, because we got a blue trail and it's kind of recolored, but it's very, very similar. And it kind of makes sense because we're talking about like the Vanguard versus the Gunslinger, which they're both kind of the same thing. But either way, now my power rank is at 260762. Anyways, I don't personally like the claw hand styles. I'm going to have a separate video that'll show off the costume as well for those of you that don't want to go through the patch itself. But without further ado, we have retired 20 collectibles from the Chaos Chest prize. Oh, boo-hoo. Stop adding things to the Chaos Chest, seriously. These collectibles will no longer drop from Chaos Chest or Golden Chaos Chest, but will remain in the Chaos Crafter under a new category, Legacy Collectibles. Right, why do they say that the new category is going to be called Chaos Vault? It's Legacy Collectibles. But either way, this is going to end up being all the items that you can't get out of the Chaos Chest anymore. The only way you can get these is by crafting them now. So, GG to anybody that didn't end up getting their Hydrojet wings and the rocket ship and junk like that, because those premium things are quite expensive. They also added 2 new double experience packs to the store. Better late than never, I guess. The font on them is a little bit disgusting. It's like they didn't put that much effort into it, or maybe it just downscaled really badly. But in either case, you know, it's not like it's a bad thing. It's not like I'm against them adding experience potions. I do still think that $1 per, maybe, like, is that overpriced? I don't know. Personally speaking, I don't think that grinding in Trove is particularly difficult, especially if you're grinding experience on Saturday. But it's good that players have the option now of actually buying these. You know, is it actually a thing though? Like, should players buy these? I don't know. But either way, the style tab now has a mobile melon mount and the Red Storm costume for the Lunar Lancer. So we got the melon mount right here, which it's gross. I'll show you in a minute. And then if we end up scrolling down, there's going to end up randomly being like a Lunar Lancer costume, which is probably one of my favorite in-game Lunar Lancer costumes thus far, even topping Fortress for me. But I think that's just because I really like the whole red, like, samurai-ish theme to it. But if we hop on my knight, here's going to end up being the melon mount. Clearly they didn't put that much work into it because it still has the little corkscrew at the top that is going to end up being the fuse of any of the explosive barrels that they ended up reskinning into this watermelon. I know that it's supposed to be the stem, but seriously, stems don't look like that. Like, that's, I don't know. Generally speaking, I prefer it without the stem, but that's just me. And also, I do want to point out that it kind of lies. It says runs on water. So the developers kind of have this feeling, or kind of have this thing where they like to make puns, right? Unfortunately, most of them aren't very funny. But then on top of that, they're very misleading. So I swear to you that I'm sure somebody ended up buying this mount thinking that it actually runs on water. I personally do hope that the developers end up changing that description, because it's very, very misleading and would make, even I was kind of interested and thought, oh, that'd be kind of cool. We haven't had like a rolling log mount that actually goes on water, which is where you actually roll on a log in the first place, right? And then anyways, the Lunar Lancer costume, look at this. Isn't it cool? Dude, like seriously, it's kind of like a nice little Gundam. Like, I like it a lot. It's got a really good spear style, even though it's kind of just all one color, again-ish. It is still really, really cool. It seems like this one was actually made by the devs rather than being a mod. That explains why it's all just one color. But the fact that they ended up putting a little bit of extra effort into it is always a welcome thing, because usually when the devs end up throwing an item into the game, it's, you know, it wasn't like this before, which is why I kind of criticize it. But anytime they add things now, it kind of feels like they're rushing it in, and they end up removing all the color from it, and rather than trying to shade it or even put any effort into it. But it's got nice video effects that work with it as well. Lunar Lancer's chain still never works, but it's kind of cool. I don't know. You don't really need to have this costume for anything too fancy, other than just it looks neat, you know? So that's another thing. And then they also have additional updates. The Radiant merchant in the hub has expanded his collection of wares until 4 a.m. Pacific time on the 22nd of this month. I don't know why it says 5/22 instead of just saying like May 22nd. But either way, if we go over to this guy, he's going to end up having Clash Gem keys available for 1 Radiant Sovereign, Lustrous Gem boxes available for 3, and then Stellar and Power Gem boxes for 7 Radiant Sovereigns. This right here is kind of a ripoff. Honestly speaking, I wouldn't go for this, because you can just get 7 in Power Gem boxes, and most likely you're going to have better odds of actually getting like a good gem box out of it. I don't know. Like the reason why they ended up making this price is because 7 in Power Gem boxes, loot collecting those gems ends up making 1 Stellar and Power Gem box. So I understand where they're coming from with making this thing 7 Radiant Pancakes. But I personally don't feel the worth, because it's like, why would I end up wanting to buy anything out of the store, let alone Radiant Pancakes, or something for 7 of them, if it's just going to end up being the exact same exchange rate of buying it in game for the exact same amount? Like, it just kind of feels useless to me. Like, if this was 5 Radiant Pancakes or 3, then I would say, oh man, this is like such a good deal. 5 for sure would be like, okay, but the Lustrous Gem boxes, those you should go for, because you can get quite a few of them if you're a cash shop player anyways, and you're going to end up needing a lot of these when the fall update ends up hitting and we get whatever the new gems are going to end up being with U10, right? Now, one other thing that does concern me, I just want to mention this before we end up moving on, is that I'm wondering whether or not they threw these into this guy's store right now as kind of a beginner's trap. Just because they are known to do stuff like this. Don't quote me on it, okay? We still don't know what's going to end up happening with the new gems. Are there going to be a new type of gem, Earth gems? Or are we going to end up getting a new tier of gems? We don't know. But usually they've done this in the past, where they'll throw these into the store so that pay-to-win players want to buy them immediately and end up spending a bunch of money on it. And they always do this just before another update shows up that kind of makes these items irrelevant, so that suddenly you want to spend even more money. Except in most cases, people end up quitting because Trove is just really overpriced as far as a cash shop is concerned. That's just my 2 cents towards it. In either case, the Lustrous Gem boxes are going to be useful from now until infinity. And if you do end up actually going for the Stellar and Power Gem boxes, I would recommend that you end up buying, like, or keeping them in your inventory. Like, don't unbox them yet until we end up hearing about those new gems and stuff, right? So then there's also going to end up being triple the Radiant Sovereigns this week as well. So apparently you'll get triple Radiant Sovereigns out of the Fast Fortune and out of all of the credit packs, despite the fact that it's not going to actually reflect it in the description. Apparently you're getting triple all of the Radiant Pancakes. So I didn't risk it because I don't really need any credits right now, and I don't really feel like spending money, because whatever the new U10 update's going to be coming out in the fall, or even the summer update that's going to be coming around, obviously is going to have a bunch of pay-to-win stuff, so I'm not too concerned about it. But either way, there's also a new set of developer-exclusive Dream allies. I don't know why they say Dream allies. It's Stream allies, right? So if we go to Combat, go to the allies, and then way down at the bottom, Dev Stream, they've got 24 of them. Some of them actually look kind of neat. I'm never going to end up having any of these, like, unless I can end up getting the devs to throw them at me. Maybe I'll throw them a message so that I can kind of show these off, kind of give people a little bit more incentive to actually watch their streams, because you can only get these allies by watching their live streams and randomly just getting like the boxes and stuff. Thankfully, none of them end up actually giving you mastery, so you don't have to get any of them. It's just kind of a nice little incentive. Oh, here's why you watch us, which give me something. I want items to give to people too that are exclusive to me and not everybody else. I'm just kidding. Luxian now appears on the welcome screen as well, which is perfect because apparently he's going to end up showing up May 17th, and he's going to end up having a bunch of items that we'll talk about when he ends up actually being here. The welcome screen image for the Gathering Day will now show Steed Feed instead of showing Shadow Shards. The Gloaming Guardian costume for the Vanguard is now available. Well, that's going to end up being this Divinity Costume. It's now available from the Shadowy Merchant for Despoiled Divinity. Fixed an issue that could cause challenge alerts to get stuck in a time's up state in Club Worlds. Good, because that was confusing me and a lot of people that were watching whenever I would do a live stream and it would say Rampage time's up and it would just never go away, right? The leech effect on the Tomb Raiser's basic attack in normal and Banshee form should now work correctly in the Ultra mode of Shadow Tower. So I guess it wasn't working before, which made Tomb Raiser even more useless in Shadow Towers. Knight's Iron Will ability will now only apply to friendly players in Battle Arena rather than just applying to everybody. I'm guessing they're trying to get us prepared for the Bomb Royale, but I guess they wouldn't be preparing us for Bomber Royale because you can't use your normal class abilities in Bomber Royale, right? Updated the text for the Enter a Medieval Highlands world to reflect that the Atlas is actually a large workstation. Okay, I'm confused. The Outpost adventure to kill 10 enemies of the Resistors in Luminopolis should now give credit for all enemies killed inside the sub-biome. So, obviously, that quest was just kind of not working out, I guess, right? Messenius, the Club Adventure NPC, has grown tired of his sword okay, so there was a... Jeez Louise. There was an NPC that you could get in a Club World that would ask you to gather swords in Medieval Highlands. They've changed that, so now it just says Mine Shaped Stone instead, because otherwise it was confusing too many players. But I'm pretty sure it actually literally wanted you to go and get sword drops, so you had to be on a melee character. The fire VFX in the Darkneck Dreadnought fight should now orient correctly, otherwise they were flat and weird looking. Tool tips for Gigastormer beacons now mention how long they'll last before despawning, so that's going to be a beacon boss. The market daily bonus will no longer tell non-members they must pay rent to use it. Non-members? What? I'm not sure what that means. What are non-members? Is it talking about like something in the quest? Market daily bonus. Which one's the market? None of these say market. Are they talking about loot day? One of these, I don't know. Who cares? Fixed an incorrect error message that could occur when paying rent for fixtures, and then a PS4 only update. Improved invites for both in-game and out-of-game. Note that occasionally invites may not teleport you directly to the inviting player, just to their instance. And then I'm not entirely sure if I just missed it or if the patch doesn't actually mention, but there's a new event going on, which I'll have that video come out later today. It's particularly easy. You pretty much just do it for the mastery because all you're getting out of it is this cat. This is kind of what I mean, where it's all just kind of one color and gross and weird. I really don't understand this thing. It's like a normal weird cat that kind of looks like candy corn that for some reason has a bunch of ice cream mashed on the top of him and a bunch of bees eating it or something. I really don't understand this animal or why it exists. Also, you can look into his mouth, which is kind of weird. But either way, it's free mastery and it's a free mount, so I guess I can't complain about it, right? Uses the same video effects from the Cinnamol, I think, the camel mount that was in the Chaos chest like a million years back. I think that you can still get that out of the Chaos Crafter, though. In either case, that's it for the patch notes, everybody. So thank you so much for watching. Very much appreciated. Don't forget to like, share, favorite, and subscribe for more daily content. And if you want to support me, you can always sponsor my YouTube channel. Check links in the description for my merch store, where you can get this shirt as well as a bunch of others. We got some new ones as well. And then there's also Gawkbox, which is where you can donate to me for free. There's going to be a couple other videos that are going to come out probably today just showing off like specifically the event and the new costumes and stuff like that. And while I'm sure that a lot of people are going to be like, this video is pointless, it's so that people don't have to go through the patch notes, because not everybody has the time for it, right? People just want to see all the new stuff without actually having to go through all this stuff. But either way, I'll put the patch notes in the description as well. Sayonara and stay epic.